Now reached our destination.
It's 9 o'clock.
It's the 3-day weekend that officially kicks off the summer season. A time for hanging at the beach, barbecuing, even catching a few laps of the Indy 500. But Memorial Day is also the most solemn American holiday, a day to remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice while defending their nation. The Civil War, America's bloodiest chapter. Over 600,000 soldiers killed in action. Almost every community in every state suffered the loss of young men. As the war came to an end, mourners in both northern and southern states began placing flags and flowers on the graves of fallen soldiers. The town of Waterloo, New York is officially credited with starting the holiday. On May 5, 1866, its citizens closed their shops and businesses so that everyone could decorate the graves of the men killed during the war. Then an old war general had an idea. John A. Logan was the leader of a Union Veteran Association. He spearheaded an effort to unite all the decoration services into one national holiday, designating May 30th as Decoration Day. On the first National Decoration Day, 1868, 5,000 war widows, orphans, and other mourners gathered at Arlington National Cemetery. They placed flowers and ribbons on the 20,000 graves of both Union and Confederate soldiers. Two future presidents and fellow Union veterans, Ulysses Grant and James A. Garfield, attended the ceremony. Throughout the 19th century, Decoration Day grew. Ceremonies were held in major Civil War battlefields like Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and Antietam Field in Maryland. By the end of the century, the holiday was renamed Memorial Day. But war wounds ran deep. Most southern states refused to commemorate a holiday they regarded as honoring Union soldiers. So each state commemorated their war dead with different Confederate decoration days. Several southern states continue the tradition to this day. World War I ushered in the age of modern warfare. America lost over 130,000 soldiers in the global conflict. This shared experience finally bonded America's North and South. When the war ended, May 30th became a day to honor all American soldiers who died in battle as far back as the Revolutionary War. America interred its first unknown soldier in Arlington National Cemetery on Armistice Day, 1921. Every Memorial Day, this soldier and other unknown soldiers are honored with a wreath-laying ceremony conducted by the President or Vice President. They are reminders of all those who never made it home. Memorial Day became a federal holiday in 1971, and Congress shifted it from May 30th to the fourth Monday in May, giving federal workers a 3-day weekend. All across America, veterans and civilians still gather in parades and vigils to remember the generations who gave their lives for their nation's freedom.
Loaded, full of cash. I'm the mower.
press. I'm a rock star, you will see. I've got more money than MTV. I'm not very mean. Silver Fox on the scene. I love it when all the ladies scream. Jerry! I'm the man. I do what I want because I can. I'm the best. All of you losers are just a pest. Ladies and gentlemen, Erich Pilcher on the guitar.
You're listening to WMNH 95.3.
The commander to the supreme leader, Matzo coming down.
Good morning, everybody. Here we go. Happy Memorial Day weekend. It is that time again. Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious Manchester, New Hampshire on Canal Street. Also, you can stream the show from anywhere if you go to WMNHradio.org, or you can go to my website, mattconnerton.com/live. Gets you access to the stream as well as the all the social media links, contact info, show archives, etc., etc. It is Saturday, May 25, 2024, and I am not alone.
Good morning, sunshine.
Yes, Jenny is here at the news table.
I am present and accounted for on this glorious day.
Yes, we have a great show for you today.
Full show.
Yeah,
awesome show.
Another busy Saturday. In the second hour, we have Dead Harrison, one of our favorite bands, joining us. In the third hour, Nancy Manet, all the way from Texas, is up in the area. She's going to be coming in. We have Erich Pilcher's classic film review. And this week, he's chosen Born on the 4th of July. So we'll be featuring that later as well. But right now, returning to the show, and not her first time on the show, but her first time live in studio with us, we have Dr. Bethany Bilodeau with us. Welcome.
Good morning. How are you?
Or Dr. B, as I see you like to be called online. Or is that what everyone calls you at work, Dr. B?
Typically, if they're not mad at me, yes.
Okay.
When you hear so even as an adult, when you hear your full name, you just know.
Yes.
Gotcha. And well, let's open it this way. Congratulations, you just won an award.
I did. Thank you so much.
Yeah, tell us about it.
So our organization was voted to be the New Hampshire Business of the Year in the area of education.
Oh, congratulations. That's awesome.
Pretty exciting for all the changes that we've been able to do, and a lot for the pro bono work that we provide to the community.
Yeah. So, so tell us about that. Tell us, because a lot of our listeners probably may not have heard our previous conversation, and part of why we were so interested in having you back and having you in studio is because we really enjoyed speaking with you. But tell us again about what you do, and then we'll get into some details.
So in a nutshell, what we do is we provide behavioral support strategies to school districts for both the staff as well as the students. So by doing that, we're actually creating alternative education programs typically. And within those alternative education programs, we take students that display intensely disruptive behaviors, and we then reintegrate them into the classes that they were formerly usually attending, but because of their disruptive behaviors have not been able to access those classes. So we do that by teaching them safety skills, regulation skills, and then doing some of the tougher stuff where we're working on social emotional learning and all the other strategies. And then we disappear into the woodwork and we're gone. We leave that district and work with someone else. There's never a shortage of work.
No, I can imagine. I can imagine. Especially since in a way, I mean, you're the kind of work that you're doing, I would imagine it's not a field that a lot of, or a specialty, I should probably say, that a lot of people in your field necessarily want to get into, right? Because I have to tell you, it sounds extraordinarily challenging. You know, the moment you're talking about disruptive kids and behavioral issues with kids, students, it's like, it sounds overwhelming.
Challenging, but I will say hugely entertaining at times. And there's never a dull moment. Like you're doing something at all times, and the difference in the progress that you can see in the students is just miraculous. We had a student that staff was talking to me about yesterday that had been on our caseload, and he was suspended 15 times last school year for his aggressive behaviors and the fact that he was eloping from the school on, pretty much on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. And he got the Citizenship of the Year award this school year. Wow. And is moving off our caseload. Cool. Yep. He is no longer with us, and that's when we say goodbye,
Oh, that's incredible. That's incredible. So that must be the kind of thing that makes it all worth it,
right? It
right?
really does. Yeah. And that is, one of thousands of stories where we come in, we provide what they need, we give them the strategies and the skills, we do the same thing with the educators, and then poof, we try to get out, and give them back their schools and everything else. And we do this by training them, but we're also training the students in the same way.
We should mention too, because you, one of the school districts you work with obviously is Guilford, New Hampshire. Yes. And we have a mutual friend, it turns out. Mike Laughlin, who a very, very talented musician, and he's been on the show a bunch of times over the years. And I used to work with him. When I first met Mike, he and I were working for the same company. When those who've been in the area long enough might remember Strawberries, we had a location in Guilford, and Mike and I worked there together for a while. But we've worked together too over the years in other ways too in the music business. There's another show that I host on another station that actually started with Mike as the original host.
Oh, really? That's so neat.
And then he kind of passed the baton to me because he didn't really have time for it to do it every week. And but yeah, I've known Mike for more than wow, where does the time go? More than 20 years now. But yeah, such a talented guy and just a really good dude.
He is. He's a great guy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, so you mentioned, so how long are you in a school district? Because you said you're there to help, but then at a certain point, your work there is done.
Typically 1 to 2 years. So we're there as long as we're needed. But I will say after usually a year to 2 years, we're not needed. So typically when we come into a school district, we're providing all the professional development, and we're, also providing the direct supports to the students that have some of the more intense behaviors. And once they're not displaying those intense behaviors, we're starting to transition out.
Okay.
So at that point in time, there really is no need for us to continue. That's what we specialize in, and we're not setting up camp and staying in the district for years and years on end. Some of the districts we just transition to other programs or to different schools. So we might start in their high school and then go to their middle or elementary, and then rotate back after a period of time because of turnover. We have to teach and that sort of thing to more of the staff and the newer staff and that sort of thing. But for the most part, we're usually out within 1 to 2 years.
Okay.
And that's the goal.
Yeah. If you're just joining us, we have Dr. Bethany Bilodeau here with us. Dr. B, as she's also known, live in studio. The studio line is open. If you have any questions or feedback or anything at all, for our guest. 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. Of course, you can also interact and opine in our Facebook live chat, or you can comment at mattconnarton.com/live. You can text us at 617-917-4476. But of course, the best thing to do is give us a call on the studio line, 603-250-6007. And I do see some folks in the Facebook live chat. Miriam Banish is in the chat room, and Miriam, of course, works with kids in
She's a para.
in Bedford. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I know her. Hi, Miriam. How are you?
Yeah. Miriam's wonderful. Yeah, but she has her job is also very very challenging. And who else did I see in here? Isaac Banks is in there, and B. Pinard. Good morning, B. And Jay Fed, of course, from the great state of Vermont, also in the chat room. And Sarah Patno, also in the chat room, says, morning. Good morning. She says, how can education access your training if not local? Great question.
Yes. So we do a lot of traveling outside of New Hampshire.
Yeah.
I'm actually headed to Texas next week. I'm headed to Florida the following month. I'm headed to Mississippi the month after that. So we do travel around quite a bit, but they can also access our free trainings that we do on Thursday. We do a free training every Thursday through the Behavior Boot Camp. They can sign up for that and just jump on and ask a behaviorist questions or talk about their specific challenge that they might have, those sorts of things. We also offer a course there as well at the Behavior Boot Camp.
So you do that every Thursday?
Yeah, we do the live webinar every Thursday.
Oh, wow.
So, and we hold it at various times, and people just need to go and sign up for it. But it's one of the ways that we can work with our community and really access, how people are struggling with their specific scenarios and everything. So.
Okay, excellent. Emily Ray joins us in the Facebook live chat. Says good morning. Good morning, Emily. And Emily Picard. It's a day of Emily's. She says, how can we fight fatigue throughout the school year? Most school staff I talk to are exhausted.
Question.
Most people are exhausted. Let's be real.
Yeah. True.
Well, this is a question I probably get on a daily basis. I'm actually doing a Facebook Live on this topic actually on Monday. And I think some of the biggest things are we need to oxygenate our bodies and things like that without getting into all the technical jargon of it and that sort of thing. But I'll say that typically the fastest way that I do it is I either try to get people outside for a few minutes to get some more vitamin D and that sort of thing, drinking water. Oftentimes I'll be like, I have this errand. Can you run up to the library and drop this off? Even if it's a send that student back down to me sort of thing, or I'll try to get a staff to walk with me somewhere. If I notice that they're really intense and stressed about a situation, I'll say, I'd love to talk to you. Can you just go with me for a moment? And I'll try to find some stairs where we have to go up or down the stairs in order for them to push kind of that oxygen throughout the body and get those amino acids into the muscle groups and all that fun stuff. But water, a little bit of movement, vitamin D, those things can work wonders. Vitamin B is also a huge one too. So if you, in a lot of countries, they're supplementing with vitamin B instead of other medications. Yep. So making sure that you're getting enough vitamin B is huge as well.
Jenny makes
Great
sure
question.
I take my
you go,
vitamins.
Jenny.
Yeah.
You work on.
It's
you
a New
do
England
that.
thing. Most New Englanders do have low vitamin D levels because we in New England just typically don't get enough sun. Yeah. I know. I obviously check with your own doctor and see what your primary recommends. Yeah. In our situation, our primary recommends 2,500 IUs in the spring summer months. Yeah. And then in the fall, 5,000 IUs. Yeah. But definitely check with your doctor because it is a super common thing, especially here in New England.
And unless you're standing outside without your clothing on, you're not probably going to get enough vitamin D. I mean, that's just how it is. And as my husband would say, that's not professional to do that. So we just recommend.
And even if you are, and if you are spending time out in the sun, make sure you're wearing sunblock because then you have the opposite thing. So it's that delicate balance to keep our health in line for us.
100%. Yeah. And if you're feeling fatigued, that's a huge part of it. In quality sleep, there's so many people that I work with that don't get good quality sleep. And there's so many simple hacks to get good quality sleep. My husband always makes fun of me because I go to bed. I've got the eye mask on. I've got my lips taped together, so I breathe through my nose and this and that. And he's like, "You're a sexy animal, Bethany." I'll just say it right now. That is just screaming, you know.
But you're sleeping better.
I do, which makes me a much kinder person.
There you go. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because as a hypnotherapist, people come to me for various things. Quitting smoking is the number one thing, but I'll always ask during the pre-talk, and Miriam knows this. She's a client of mine. I always ask, is there anything else? Because you can add as many things as you want to into a session. We usually have the main thing, but we can add other things. And the biggest thing that I hear is, my sleep isn't great. Or I'll ask, they might not mention it, and I'll always ask, by the way, how do you sleep? Because a lot of people will tell me, they don't go into the session thinking about that, but they'll say, oh, now that you mention it, my sleep isn't great. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's becoming a huge thing in hypnosis, which I'm sure that you're starting to get more and more people, and we're definitely directing people in that area. I was listening to an audiobook this morning on the origins of hypnosis and all of that, and it's becoming the huge thing to help access sleep, self-hypnosis, and those sorts of pieces to get yourself to sleep better and all that. So fighting fatigue, definitely check it out.
Absolutely. Miriam also mentioned, and this leads into a question. She said, here it is. She says, I work in intensive needs, and we've had short staffing the last 2 weeks. And the question that brings to mind for me is, have you noticed, because, obviously, we're post-pandemic, but it's still a problem in schools, right?
So much of a problem, more so now than it was the first couple years outside of COVID.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Why?
Significantly more. And one, I've got to say, Miriam, I give you a round of applause for showing up to work, because that is huge right now. The tardiness and also, people calling out, that is significant and it's mainly because of the fatigue issue.
Yeah.
So that is just huge. So, and we've seen it more and more now, and it's because of the stress level that people have. They're so much more aware of things that are going on due to social media, due to people talking about things and all of that, that their stress level is significantly increased over what it was a few years ago.
Yeah.
So what kind of things can people like Miriam do who are in situations where they are short-staffed? So obviously that's more stress. What can 100%. You do when you're in that situation to reduce your own stress or keep your head in the game a little bit easier than it's overwhelming.
It is overwhelming. I think prioritizing is one, is making sure, I've got to address safety issues first. Make sure you know what the priorities are in your establishment. So figure out how to prioritize, keep that task, and take a moment for self-care, which I know that this is sometimes hard to do. And you're saying, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed. I can't go pee because I'm so stressed and I can't leave this person, or so on and so forth. That's when you need to reach out for help. And I know that that's a really, really hard thing to do, but reach out to help and say, I need someone to come cover this for a few minutes. I've got to use the bathroom. Even if it's a matter of, I'm just standing in the bathroom stall, taking a few breaths, work on your breathing, make sure that exhalation is longer than the inhalation, because that will force your body into the area of the nervous system that you want it in, so that you can be the most rational at that point in time. Because otherwise you're going to be functioning in the fight or flight. You're going to be releasing tons of cortisol. You're going to be really overstressing your body, which is going to put you at risk at being sick, not getting as good sleep, and all of those other things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Miriam, you're on fire, girl. You go.
She is. She's awesome.
Yeah, she says, my school treats me well and show so much appreciation. That helps.
They are great. I've been in Bedford.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, excellent. I would imagine, too, I don't know and I've never thought to ask Miriam about this, but, we are in an economy where nobody seems to have enough help. Does that affect schools, too?
So it affects schools so much. There are so many times where I've been in a building where they've said, I don't know what to tell you. We've had to pull staff and so on and so forth. And they're not able to provide the level of service that they would expect that they would be able to provide. It is a huge issue. And with things rising, you see in all industries pretty much that they have increased the rates of pay and that sort of thing. those impact those systemic organizations a little bit later. So school districts end up with those rate increases a little bit later on. So it's really challenging for them to find people to come in and provide those services. And that significantly impacts the stress levels of everyone else because they're constantly trying to find ways to cover things.
And that affects the kids too, right?
So it so much affects the kids. It's really the concept about how to do more with less. And we train this all the time, how to do more with less because we have less humans.
Yeah.
So how can we teach students more of these skills? How can we teach staff more of these skills so that they can reach more people so that the needs will decrease over time?
Yeah. Sarah Patno asks, I hear a lot about biohacking. What is that?
I was honest to goodness, I was watching a documentary about that last night.
Oh my gosh, Sarah, you sneaky. So I am probably, many people don't know this about me, but I am all about biohacking. I am in on it. I do it continuously. I mean, just, on a daily basis, even things like I get up in the morning, I have my lemon water with my prebiotic in it. In the last couple sips, I put my cayenne pepper in and take a shot of that. All of those are biohacking. It's just a matter of getting your body to function at a higher level.
What is biohacking?
Biohacking is when you are actually utilizing your body systems to create an environment that you're looking for versus the other way around, versus your body systems creating it the other way around.
Okay.
The guy I was watching last night said his intention is to live to be 180.
Oh, you must have been listening to Dave Asprey.
I think it was. The guy. Yeah. That is what
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, he is very well known in that field.
Isaac Banks says, I've been drinking Sprite, 0 sugar. That's probably not on the biohacking menu, though, is it?
And soda's out, huh?
No soda?
Yeah, soda is out.
What about energy drinks?
They're out.
Oh,
yeah.
Whatever would Maddie do?
There are some things that, you can utilize to create, you add electrolytes to your water and those sorts of things. But the traditional energy drinks, are not real healthy.
Even the sugar-free ones?
Even the sugar-free ones. I know, it's so sad.
So what do you drink? Just lemon water?
I drink water.
Cucumber water?
I drink
nothing but water.
I drink a lot of water.
Wow.
I drink
tea?
I say that again?
Tea?
Yes, I drink a ton of tea.
Oh, tea is allowed.
Yeah,
Good.
I drink a ton of tea. I do drink coffee.
Oh.
I drink
Is
coffee.
that a biohacking yes or no?
Some camps say yes.
Your
Some
camp
camps
say yes?
say no. My camp says yes.
I like your camp.
So I drink coffee that has trace minerals added to it, and I also drink coffee that has different sorts of medicinal mushrooms added to it as well.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Mushrooms.
Yeah.
Interesting. With caffeine or no caffeine?
Caffeine.
Okay.
Why would you drink decaffeinated coffee?
Well, that's the thing.
Because it tastes good. Because I want to drink a coffee and it tastes good.
I'm just like, man.
And I have high blood pressure.
I've had a lot of people who are like, you do not need caffeine, girl, about me. But
but if they haven't seen you without it, they don't know.
True.
How would they know?
Yep.
Yeah.
This is true.
I drink 2 cups a day.
This is my norm.
Yeah. And I love coffee. I look forward to it more than most things in life, I have to say.
I got you.
Somebody was asking, Sarah asked this question too, or made this comment. She says, I saw a Facebook story about when kids get detention, they do yoga instead of sitting. The detention rate dropped due to the students being more regulated. That's interesting.
Love that. Yeah.
See, that's such a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do a lot. We never call it yoga. We have a lot of young men in our programs, and yoga's not real well received.
Really?
So we call
I get it.
body positioning.
Body positioning.
And they're okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every now and then they'll say, Dr. B, this looks a little like yoga. And I'll be like, really? I don't know, maybe.
I love that.
Huh. Are you trying to pull one over on us?
No, me never.
Miriam said, I have an app on my phone that reminds me to drink water. Yeah, I get the impression, I've always thought that's like the number one thing that people don't do that they should be doing health-wise is drinking enough water.
Absolutely. And you can tell, that when people don't have enough water, I'll say probably more than 95% of our student population shows up dehydrated every day.
You know, I believe that. I totally believe that.
Yep. And then they're like, oh, here's this carb-based breakfast, so between those two things. So you have control over encouraging someone to drink water in a school. That's an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
So, and water is, one of the regulators that works for all human beings. So we often encourage people, drink water, fill your water bottles, water the plants, fill up the dog bowl, do all those things that encourage you to be around water.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
So, and a lot of times we just carry empty water bottles with us, and we have kids like, here you go fill it up. That one's yours and everything, just so that they have water bottles on them, because they don't often have containers to put water in. So if they need to get a drink, they have to go to a water fountain. I'm telling you, it becomes a mess within minutes. They put the water in their mouth and then they spit it all over themselves or you, if they're dysregulated.
Right.
So, and then it becomes this battle. I'm usually just like, whatever, it's just water. We're fine.
Yeah.
But that, then it's got to be cleaned up. Somebody might fall and everything else. But if you have a water bottle, then you don't necessarily need to leave the classroom.
Right.
So.
Now, how did you, and I know we talked about this last time, but for listeners who didn't hear it, how did you get started in doing what you do? Because as I mentioned earlier, it sounds like, it sounds like a realm that so many people would just be terrified of.
Yeah.
Really, to get into. So how did you start?
So it had, I want to say it probably started in childhood for me, because I wasn't a great student in elementary school. And I went to school in a very, very old building, had lots of nooks and crannies and everything else. And I knew where every single one of them was, because those is where I would hide. So when I was supposed to be in class, I was all over the building and doing things that I probably shouldn't have in elementary school. By middle school, I was a little bit more on track. And then at the end of middle school, I had a family member who passed away that was pretty significant. And I ended up sort of buckling down and doing what I needed to do, and became this very quiet, more introverted person, except when I was in sports. But I will say, like, my mother would always yearly get that letter of, your child is not going to pass. She's not going to graduate, so on and so forth, because I missed so much school.
Yeah.
So as soon as sports weren't in session, I was sick. And I say air quotes because I know people can't see me. Air quotes sick, because I just didn't want to go to school. So school was really, really tough for me.
Yeah.
And then when I had my first child, he really struggled with those social environments, was really intense. And they termed it physically aggressive. People are like, oh no, it'll be great, it'll be fine, until your kid bites their kid, and then they call and they're mad. So
yeah, they don't take it well, I'm
sure.
Yeah.
So after 3 daycares, we found a great organization that provided OT therapeutic supports within their school setting. So it was a Montessori-based school that also did a lot of regulation strategies. He did fantastic. Had some struggles in elementary school, but by the middle of elementary school, he was doing great and everything else. And I said, this is like my home. When I went to that school, I was like, I could totally, this is where I want to be. And at that point, I had been working with adults who experienced disabilities. And I said, I really want to work with youth more. And I was living out of state, and the woman who's still the special ed director in Guilford School District contacted me and said, Bethany, we need your programs. Can you please come back? And so I started the organization because of that. And that's why Guilford is one of my home districts. And Esther Kennedy has been key to helping us kind of evolve over the years.
Okay. And so now, how long has it been that you've been doing that?
Almost 19 years.
Okay. Okay. Excellent.
So, and I've been in the field for close to 30.
Yeah.
Excellent.
These different school districts that you go into, I mean, I assume some are more challenging than others, right?
Of course, yeah.
Like, what's the what's an example of kind of the most challenging? I almost said the worst, but I don't want to put it that way. The most challenging school district that you've gone into. I mean, I'm not asking you to identify the district.
Yeah, and I think that's by perspective, because some school districts, they have more challenges as far as behavior disruption goes, but they have a system that's set up for support. And so that works very, very well. So there are some schools that we have programs in all levels of their schools, elementary, middle, high school. We have a program in all of their buildings. But they have a system set up for support, so it runs unbelievably well. Things go super smooth. And then other school districts don't. They don't have those programs. They don't have a lot of trauma background. They really don't work with those populations significantly, so they don't have the training needed to provide the support. So those are the most challenging situations, when they don't have a setup to provide that, because traditional methods do not work with the student population that we work with.
Okay.
So, and we're looking at it more from a trauma lens than from a compliance lens. We get to compliance, but that's a ways off. It's the students that we're working with, typically they're not ready for compliance because they're not regulated enough to be able to do that.
Yeah.
We'll get there. And usually when we do get to compliance, that student's no longer on our caseload. We're like, okay, yeah, back to you guys. Here you go. And they're doing it from their perspective within their organization at that point.
When you first started in the early days of doing this, did you ever have moments where you felt like, oh, this is really hard? Was it harder than you expected?
Yes.
Really?
I mean, I can remember one time I had an employee who was interviewing, and I can't believe she even ended up working for us. But she was interviewing, and she watched me get my nose broke.
Oh my God.
And the student, just headbutted me so hard, and I broke my nose.
Wow.
And we were in McDonald's parking lot, and I wouldn't go back to that McDonald's for 5 years. I was mortified that I had gotten my nose broken there and everything else. And the student would ask every few weeks, go to McDonald's, and I'd be like, not today. Not today. And every now and then I'll say, oh my gosh, I'm not sure how to deal with this, or I'm in over my head. And at that point, that's when I reach out to specialists and people who are more progressive in the field and that sort of thing, and have them actually start to train me on their methods. Yeah. And that's part of the reason why we're so progressive, is we put so much time and money into continuing education that before, what we took us 3-4 years to accomplish, we can now do in 3 months.
Wow,
that's excellent. On the other side, do you ever go into a situation where it winds up being, I don't know if easier is necessarily the word, but
often,
but really, where that's good.
Yeah, there's a lot of times where they'll call me and they'll say, okay, you're observing this one. And I'll say, okay, I think we could just do this, this, and this. But what about that one over there?
Yeah.
They'll say, well, we had some concerns about that, but that hasn't risen up. And I'm like, you're gonna see it soon.
Yeah.
Let's be proactive and get that, things on track so that we don't have those continuing issues come about, and it doesn't erode the student's self-confidence.
Miriam in the chat says, training is a big part of keeping staff. It is scary to work with kids without training and without strategies to help kids. Well, that's what you see all the time too, right?
All the time.
You're going into situations where, people who are, they're doing their best in that school, but they're in over their heads dealing with these kids because they haven't had the training.
Right. Yeah. And that is really the huge part of it, is that the turnover increases. If you're not training, you're going to have turnover. Mm-hmm. If you're not providing that training, people do not feel connected because they don't feel like they have the tools to do their job.
Yeah.
We were in a school a couple weeks ago. We had a student come onto caseload who was really challenging, and they were moving a student off so we could provide support and putting that student with a new staff. And we went back to them and said, we don't think this is going to work. Have this staff with us, have both students with us so that we can train that staff, because she cannot navigate this yet. Mm-hmm. She'll be able to. She's going to learn the skills. We're going to teach her those skills. But we want to make sure that she has the skills she needs to be productive. And it is. It's going great.
Yeah, good. So I would imagine that's a big part of what you do too, is not only trying to help the situation, but getting, kind of encouraging these teachers to hang in there.
It's more of that.
Yeah. Is that kind of, yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of times they're feeling like, I'm trying this, and it's not making a difference. Having someone come in and validate them to say, it is making a difference.
Yeah.
If we just added this one other piece, you would see it move leaps and bounds. And It's not rocket science. These strategies are really simple.
Yeah.
They're things like have them store their backpack under their chair instead of on the back of their chair. That way, when they lean over to get their backpack, they're putting pressure on their stomach, which pushes serotonin out into the bloodstream.
Interesting.
Simple stuff.
Wow.
But people they're not aware of
that. Right. Yeah.
You know, I mean, my trick is always, students think that I'm the klutziest person in the world because I'm always dropping things or falling or whatever. And it's usually so that they'll help me, you know, so that they have that inversion where they're leaning down to pick something up for me or doing something like that. Or they're carrying my backpack because I can't carry it because it's too heavy and those sorts of things. And it's weighted work and all that fun stuff. But yeah, I mean, they're all great kids, and they just need to be put in the right environment to be successful.
Right. Emily Picard in the chat room asks, what is the best thing to do when a student starts getting angry or you're responding to a situation and they are already angry?
Lower your volume.
Yeah.
Slow down your speech. Make sure that your hands are between your shoulders and your hips. Keep your thumbs up because your thumbs convey confidence, and have a split stance with your feet. So that will convey confidence, but it also shows safety.
Okay.
So you want to be able to show safety with your body. And if you're like my age, which is the progressed stage, then you also want your mouth slightly open because it makes you look like you're more engaged. If your lips are together because of the downturn of the lips, that will end up making you look like you're more fierce and everything. So students will tend to trust you a little bit more because of that. Try to open your eyes a little bit wider, but not to show the whites. So all of those things will make that student feel safe and give them some space. And I often put it on the person who's angry. I'll say, am I safe standing here? And that usually halts them for a second and pulls them a little bit back into a different area of the brain so that they're not completely in the amygdala, so that they'll say, okay, no, you're not safe. You need to back up. And I'll be like, okay. And I take like one baby step back.
Right.
They'll like, get out of the room. And I'll say, I have to be here for safety. Yeah. But I can back up and give you space. So them having control over that makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
So, great question, Emily. Number 1, 2, or 3. I'm not sure which number Emily you are.
Yes, a lot of Emilys. Do you go all over the country with this? You mentioned you're going to be this summer. You're going to, I think you mentioned Mississippi, Florida, Texas.
Yep, we do. I did a lot more traveling prior to COVID, but we still do quite a bit of training. We do try to encourage people to, go through our course first, and then if you still need us, then come to us and everything. There's no lack of work, of course. But, go through that, see what you can get for tools, look at our stuff on social media. We want to put the tools out there as much as we possibly can. So, I mean, our goal is really to create environments where people feel safe psychologically, physically, mentally. They feel safe, and we want to be able to give those tools to as many people as we possibly can.
Right. No, that makes sense. Where's the furthest have you gone all the way out to the West Coast?
Oh yeah. I've been to California a number of times. I actually was going to California almost every year, up until COVID, and then I was teaching remotely. For that. So
okay, very good.
Yep.
If you have any questions, we do have Dr. Bethany Bilodeau here for a few more minutes. 603-250-6007 is the studio line. 603-250-6007. If you have any questions or feedback or anything at all. Sarah Patno asks, how do we access the course again?
thebehaviorbootcamp.com.
Okay. That's simple. Miriam says, so can paraprofessionals take classes independently, or does it need to be through the district? Oh, great question.
That is a great question, Miriam. Miriam, you are, girl, I know I said it before, but you're on fire today. You can definitely take them through the district. Certainly ask your district about PD. I do PD more directly to teams in that particular district than I do full group trainings and that sort of thing. But you can certainly utilize the course and access that free webinar we have. We have a behaviorist on that webinar every week that's there to answer questions and give some really simple strategies that work for most people. And that is an easy way to start accessing our resources.
Now, did we talk about, I don't think we talked about this specifically, core methods, CORE.
Yep.
Did we talk about what that stands for?
Connecting our resources educationally.
Okay. So that's the name of the program.
That's the name of the program that provides its services into the school districts.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
But our training platform is through the Behavior Bootcamp.
The Behavior Bootcamp. Okay. Got it. Now, is that something? So, do you recommend that for the behavior boot camp? Do you recommend that for only for educators, or also for parents?
It's written for educators, but I wrote it, and I wrote the curriculum because I had such a hard time teaching parents strategies over the phone. So, I spent a lot of time with parents on the phone, and I was just so challenged at saying, this is how you should stand. This is what you want your face to look like, so on and so forth. And I was like, I've got to do it in a video format. And COVID really opened the door for that, for us to be able to do that, because I'd had that dream of creating it about 3 or 4 years prior to COVID. And then with COVID coming in, I was like, we just got to do this. This is something that we have to create. We add new curriculum to it every summer. And really enhance the product with what's coming down as being the most progressive methods and what we've tested to be the most progressive methods, because we're constantly testing different techniques.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's when it comes to the pandemic, I've always said, obviously it was a terrible experience for us, for the world.
Yeah.
But we have to find those silver linings where we can. And one of the silver linings is the way that it kind of forced people to be more progressive, that's a good word, about technology and using technology in their work. I can tell you, I've always been someone who really embraces technology, and I love technology, and I have to be into it to be able to do this. But when it came to doing hypnotherapy I use Doxy, but when it came to doing that virtually, so to speak, I was late to the party on that. I'd always I'd always done in person, or, recorded sessions for people too, and send them an MP3 and whatnot. But to actually, I don't know why I was so resistant, but I wasn't comfortable with the idea of doing it online at first. So, and then, the pandemic shows up and it's like, well, now
you gotta.
now you gotta. So, but it's a subject that comes up a lot on the show because, we also interview a lot of musicians on here. And when the pandemic hit, all of a sudden, all these musicians are doing, concerts strictly online, and doing all kinds of cool things online that they weren't necessarily doing before, or not as much of. So like I said, we have to find those silver linings where we can. But I'm sorry, I shut your mic off when you got up earlier.
You see what I put up with?
There.
I haven't seen my therapist in person in years.
That's true. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
My daughter sees a therapist, and I don't think we've ever met her in person.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep.
Yeah.
I actually really like being able to just be in my comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
It's not nicer than sitting in that waiting room with that snow machine.
Yeah.
Well, and that's all you hear.
It saves time too, which is the great part of it.
Yeah.
I did have to tell my daughter she does have to not change her clothes when she's on with her therapist and do things like that.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Like etiquette. It's like, you're in her office, honey. Well, you shouldn't be going to the bathroom.
Right.
But kids are used to this now. Their world is electronic.
Yes. And I do have to say, during COVID, there's many times I had to tell students that you have to wear clothes when we have sessions.
Oh my.
Yep.
And parents.
Yeah. Has this changed a lot, by the way? You said 19 years you've been doing this. Has it changed a lot over the years?
Significantly.
Yeah.
Significantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a world of difference now. And the things that I would have done 10 years ago, 15 years ago, even 25 years ago when I worked mainly with adults, are completely different now as to what I do and everything. And that is, it's part of honing the craft, and continuing to, work on that. And I spend about 2 hours every day on continuing ed for myself.
Oh, really?
Every day.
Yeah. Wow.
7 days a week.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's excellent. Are you working with multiple school districts at once?
Yes.
How many at a time?
Usually
typically?
do 12 a year.
Okay.
I do about 12 schools a year, and it rotates.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay.
We've worked with, I think, more than 120 schools at this point.
No kidding.
Yeah. And we do about 100 professional development trainings a year.
Yeah.
So it's significant.
Now, do you ever have a repeat school or school district? Yeah.
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 Yeah, we do, because there's turnover.
Yeah.
So about every 7 or 8 years, we end up back in on that school district we had been in. And there's some people that are still there. It's like old home day. It's great to get to see the people again.
Yeah.
And everything. And then and and we're teaching all these newer, more progressive models because sometimes they'll be like, Dr. B, I saw that. I went to a training with you 8 years ago, so on and so forth. And I'm like, well, come back because it's going to be different techniques.
Yeah. I would imagine, I'm guessing, I could be wrong, but from what you've seen, has turnover increased in schools over the years from when you started?
Yeah.
Has it? Yeah.
And especially the last 2 years.
Really?
It's significant. Yeah. Significant.
Yeah.
So we're really lucky as an organization. Our turnover rate's very, very low.
Yeah.
But school districts they've suffered. It's been hard for them.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And that's nationwide. I've seen it everywhere.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. I think there's probably a few reasons for that. But plus, like I referred to earlier, we're in an economy where, if you decide you don't want to be a teacher anymore,
you don't have to.
You don't have to be. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Good for everybody who hangs in there and still loves it.
Yeah, we appreciate you 100%. Please stay. Don't leave the education field. We need you.
Do you ever get into a situation where maybe a school or a school district has brought you in, but the staff is I don't know, maybe resistant or maybe
most of the time at the start. Yeah, that's typically how it starts out in most places.
People don't like new things.
No.
They change what they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm an outsider.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is? It's not the change.
I think it's
outside.
Both. It's because a lot of the times what I'm doing is different, and many of them don't realize that I was a teacher at one point in time. So it's a little bit harder for them to digest at the beginning and that sort of thing. But over time, usually they end up being our biggest supporters.
Yeah. Oh, that's excellent. Well, the time goes quickly, Dr. B.
It sure does.
We're already approaching the top of the hour, but I want to make sure that everyone listening knows how to find you, how to find your organization. We'll remind people too about the Thursday nights.
Yeah,
all
the
of
free
that
webinar. that we have on Thursdays at the Behavior Boot Camp.
Yeah. So what should people know about how to reach you and how to?
The easiest way to reach us is either on social media or on our website at thebehaviorbootcamp.com.
Okay. Excellent. Oh, we'll sneak in another question too. Miriam had a question. Can this work in conjunction with ABA?
It can. Yes. ABA is more of a compliance-based model, and we were very much an ABA company back 15 years ago, at our inception. So yes, it can. Our techniques are very different because we're looking at the nervous system, the brain, the neural hormones that are going on, and the sensory systems and all of that. So we're incorporating all of those things to make sure that we're working with the student to make sure they feel safe, they feel regulated, and then we can get on to those other things. ABA tends to come a little later.
Okay.
After we've done the preliminary work.
Okay, gotcha. Well, great questions in the chat room. Thank you, everybody. And Dr. B, thank you so much. This has been wonderful. We'll do this again in the future.
It's fun. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank
Congratulations again on that award.
Oh, thank you.
Well deserved.
Oh, yeah,
we
should mention that again, too. And what was the award for?
We got the Business of the Year for Business New Hampshire in the area of education.
Yeah, that is fantastic.
Yeah,
good for you.
We were very excited.
Although probably not your first one, right?
We really fly under the radar. We've gotten a number of awards before, but we've usually made it so that it's presented more to the students and that sort of thing because we don't really want to make a big deal out of the company because it's really not about that. It's about their success and them being able to connect and integrate and have fuller, more successful lives.
Yeah. But it's still, though, it's such a great validation for what you do, and that's amazing. So congratulations
on
that. That is very, very cool. Give us the website one more time.
Thebehaviorbootcamp.com.
Excellent. Dr. Bethany Bilodeau, thank you so much. And and something is playing in the background, and I don't know why. And I need to figure out what that is before we. I think I figured it out. Once a show, Dr. B, something technical goes wrong.
There's a ghost in the machine.
Every time I do a professional development training, something technical goes wrong as well.
It's like you're pressing the button, the slides aren't moving. Dang it.
I always say, this is not my skill area.
Seriously. I have no idea how those things work.
Well, the problem for me is this is my skill area. So when something goes wrong for me, it's like,
You have other skills.
I get to pick on him later. He's good picking.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. All right, I'm going to play a track from our next guest. If you're listening live on Saturday morning, we do have Dead Harrison coming up, and we're going to play one of their tracks, Monolith Lord, and then we're going to have Dead Harrison in studio with us. But Dr. Bethany Bilodeau, thank you again.
Thank you.
What was this amazing power that could turn people into stone? That could suddenly turn inanimate rocks, stones, monoliths, into growing, spreading, expanding monsters, threatening to engulf whole towns and cities, to bury all civilization under an immensity of weight beyond all calculation.
In times of crisis, you need a law firm that stands by your side. With over 40 years of experience, Craig & Getsoulis is dedicated to fighting for your rights. As former state prosecutors, our attorneys have the knowledge and trial experience to provide an aggressive defense against any charge, from DUIs to homicides. If you've been injured, our compassionate team will assess your case and fight for the compensation you deserve. Serving all of New Hampshire, Craig & Getsoulis is here when you need us most. Visit CraigGetZoulis.com or call 603-5551-234 for a free consultation. Craig & Getsoulis, your advocates, your allies.
Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, 3 dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
Bring your kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry, located at 87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at queencitycabinetrynh.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH.
Need storage space? Look no further than Morgan Self Storage. With many size units available, our indoor units are climate controlled and our wood floors alleviate any concern about moisture. Our facility is well lit and monitored for safety. Privately owned by the Morgan family for over 25 years. Mention WMNH and get $100 off upon move-in on select units. We're open 7 days a week. Call us at 603-623-2000 or visit morganstorage.com.
Diz's Cafe is the place to put a smile on your face. Judy and the crew will take care of you. Bring your appetite and treat your taste buds right. Diz's Cafe is always a winning choice. Breakfast, lunch, or supper. Diz's Cafe at 860 Elm Street in downtown Manchester. Dine in, take out, or make a reservation. Call 603-606-2532. Eat, drink, and be happy. Diz's Cafe.
When it comes to keeping WMNH on the air and your own personal or business computer needs, trust Groland Computers. Located on Elm Street in Manchester, Groland handles computer repair, virus removal, and custom-built systems. Are you looking for budget-friendly options? Check out our selection of fully inspected used computers. We offer tailored on-site solutions. No unnecessary expenses here. Visit Groland.com or call Groland Computers at 603-645-0101. Your tech, your way. Trust Groland Computers.
Midnight.
7 times out of 10, we listen to our music at night. Thus spawned the title of this program.
Late Night Delight with DJ Midas, right here on WMNH Manchester.
You wanna know why? Because I'm on the radio.
Saturdays and Sunday nights, midnight to 4 a.m.
This hour on WMNH is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 5 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn. They serve all your business needs, including employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
Behold the harmony of airwaves as you immerse yourself in the captivating frequencies of WMNHLP, the sonic heartbeat of Manchester, transcending through the ether at 95.3 megahertz frequency modulation. Our transmissions emanate from the zenith of 1000 Elm Street. Venture into the heart of our creative realm at 119 Canal Street, where innovation and sound collide. We bear the imprimatur of Manchester Public Television Service in the venerable city of Manchester, New Hampshire, USA. Cafe. Enrich your auditory journey with the depth of our licensed residents. Dispatch your missives to WMNH953@gmail.com or traverse the virtual corridors of WMNHradio.org. Engage with our sonic vibrations by communing with us through the digital channels. Your radio beckons, eager to enthrall you with its mesmerizing cadence and envelop you in a symphony of boundless auditory wonder.
You're listening to WMNH 95.
WMNH, rip the knob off.
The commander to the supreme leader, Matzo coming down.
Welcome back, everybody, as we are well into hour number 2, numero dos of Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious Manchester, New Hampshire, on Canal Street. Of course, you can listen at 95.3 FM if you're local. Otherwise, you can go to WMNHradio.org and click Listen Live, or you can go to my website, mattconnerton.com/live. That gets you to the stream as well as all of your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, etc., etc. It is Memorial Day weekend. It is Saturday, May 25, 2024. Jenny is here as well at the news table.
Present and accounted for.
Yes, yes. These guys, they've been on the show many times, but this is their first time in the news studio. We have 50% of the band Dead Harrison here with us. Welcome, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Hello.
We have Andre Dumont and Axel Bagley. Am I saying your last name correctly?
Yes.
I feel like we go through this every time. It is Bagley.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like a bagel with a Lee.
Right. That's a great. See, I wish I knew that. That's a great way to remember it.
Or vaguely.
What?
But at least people remember it.
Or vaguely, Andre. That's good too. Yeah.
Bagels are awesome.
Yes, yes. Yeah, Jenny gets a bagel every Saturday morning.
That's my special treat.
Yes, we got it. We got
Axel vaguely Facebook posts.
I have noticed that.
No.
I mean, yes. I do keep it vague for a reason.
Yes.
Oh no.
We're not going to talk about that on the air. But
how
that's
how
the
have
other
you been?
show.
How have you guys been?
Good.
I haven't seen you guys in a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. Yeah, it hasn't been too long.
I think the last time
we were at the open house.
At Terminus.
Yes.
With MCC.
An awesome venue.
Yes, yes. We do want to get to another show there. Our Saturdays have been hectic, but we would like to get to when is the next show at Terminus? Is it
June 8th?
June 8th.
Yep.
And do you remember who's on it?
Mourn the Light.
Yes.
And Almost Honest.
Okay. And you guys too? Are you guys playing that one as well?
And we are playing that one too.
Excellent.
Oh,
excellent.
Yes. And we should have physical copies of the CD in hand.
Oh.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah, they're coming in.
Okay. Okay, cool. We're going to play, actually, what do you guys want to play? We've got a bunch of music. We did play one of them at the end of the first hour. We played Monolith Lord, which is great. But what should we play next? We'll play something, and then we'll come back and talk and get caught up.
It's a nice summery feel out there.
It is.
The day is wonderful. The dead can be fun. So I say we go with Beach Zombies.
Beach Zombies. Very good. Do they have to wear sunscreen? Or are they, does it not?
No, they don't need to.
They don't need to. And if you want to know, you have to listen to the song.
Oh, is that addressed in the lyrics?
It actually is.
Good.
No, nice.
Stay tuned.
Because that's important. All right, very good. All right, check it out. Beach Zombies. This is Dead Harrison.
American
Nice. That is Beach Zombies. The band is Dead Harrison, and we have a couple of the guys from the band here with us live in studio this morning on Matt Connarton Unleashed. We have Axel Bagley, and I learned how to a trick to say his name. And of course, Andre Dumont here with us live in studio.
Yes.
And tell us about, now we were talking about it off air, but tell us about the origins of that song, Beach Zombies.
Oh, well, it was like a little one-off show that, or it was a one-off song that we were doing for a show that we had going on up in Rutland, Vermont, that was supposed to be just a beach theme party.
Rutland, of course, known for their beaches.
Yeah, Rutland has great beaches.
Yes.
And so it was thinking of the idea, and Jason, the bass player, just he kind of ran with the idea of let's do a song that represents being on a beach.
Yeah.
And came up with Beach Zombies and brought some tasty licks.
I think he challenged us actually to make a reggae song, but in a doom format.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So to speak.
Yeah, yeah.
So like we ran through a lot of different type of reggae feels in just different swings, and it didn't hit until we just like we locked in a like rock groove that was kind of reggae, but it's out of his like wheelhouse.
Yeah.
So he wanted to challenge himself and us to make that type of idea. So
yeah,
and we did, and like the response has been great.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't think that song would have taken off like it did.
Yeah.
I like harder songs, obviously.
Yeah.
So like something catchy like that really makes people dance and get involved.
And that's Jason singing, right? That's his his lead vocal.
Jason, had to give him a shot at the mic and be like, hey, you wrote the song, why don't you sing it?
Right.
Because it sounds good and it gives a different voice. It shows the diversity of the band.
Yeah, yeah. Is that the first time he had done a lead vocal in Dead Harrison?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
He has a couple.
Oh, he does. Okay.
There's a couple of the older tunes. I can't put them together in my head right now.
I think Death March was one of them, right?
Yes, where we all had like individual parts. Like he had the whole first verse, and then I ended up taking like the bridgey part, and then my brother ended up taking up the last verse.
Okay.
And so, yeah, it was definitely like we know that we all can sing.
Yeah.
But here was another chance to kind of like showcase stuff.
Yeah.
Sean sings with me a lot, like my brother, the guitar player. So it's like we have that's where and with Jason singing also just gives like nice full vocal depth.
Yeah, yeah.
In the songs.
Yeah, I noticed when we came to the open house at Terminus, when you guys did Terror Grinder, I noticed you and Sean singing together, and I didn't. He's actually your brother?
Yes, he is.
All these years, I never knew that.
Same oven, different baker.
Okay, understood. So that explains the different last name. I never knew that, and I don't think you guys look anything alike. But as you said, different baker. But yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, no, it's a really cool thing, and just the origins of like, my brother, like I want to play some music together with him, and you think Dimebag and Vinny,
sure,
so there's
the Van Halen brothers,
yeah,
and it's like there's definitely a cool aspect of like having family in your music wheelhouse, and you kind of know each other, and plus your vocal timbres just like match so well.
Yeah, you guys singing together on Terror Grinder is really good. Hearing that live, it's really good. Yeah. That's.
I mean,
cool.
he also screams too.
I can't scream like that.
Okay.
But like you put it together, it's very harmonic.
Yeah.
How they work together.
Yeah.
Because like the influences, if we want to run down with the influences too.
Yeah.
That
because Isaac Banks is going to ask, as well as what's your favorite Matchbox 20 song.
I mean, to answer, it would be Real World over Back to Good, because like Back to Good's good, but
sure,
either which way. What are your influences, Andre, for what you think the The sound of DHs.
The sound of what?
Of DH. Sorry if my voice keeps coming in and out. Like your side of influences.
I mean, I go a little bit more. I've always been just a huge fan of Typo Negative, but I like the good gothy kind of stuff. So I mean, I like Sisters of Mercy, but also like go into the realm of like, Corrosion of Conformity and different like aspects of rock.
Yeah,
and that big feel.
Yeah.
I guess that's the best way that I can put it. I like things with a little bit of dynamics and emotion in them rather than just like hard hit at you all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, how about you, Axel?
Mine's more of like the grunge area.
Yeah.
/ prog. So like Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Melvins.
Yeah.
Kind of like the same ones we went over before. It's very like early 90s alternative, like 2000s prog, Tool,
sure,
APC, Pussifer, all that stuff. So like I'm a very like alternative type of person. So there was a lot of I think it was like Caius, like when I was first getting into the band, that like one of Sean's areas is Caius, Queens of the Stone Age, and like I rebirthed like the stuff that I haven't listened to in a while, like Corrosion and Conformity.
Yeah,
where I'm like, oh yeah. So it's been a long time since I've like listened to like really grungy, sludgy stuff.
Yeah.
So like
it's like that Desert Doom stuff.
Uh-huh.
Very welcoming.
Yeah. By the way, Isaac Banks in the chat room. So this is the question this time. He's asking, have you ever listened to the 80s band The Outfield? Songs like Your Love, All the Love in the World, I Don't Need Her, Every Time You Cry, and Winning It All from the movie of the Mighty Ducks soundtrack.
I don't think I have.
Your thoughts?
They don't particularly ring a bell. I probably have heard one of the first one that was mentioned. I feel like I've probably heard it.
Well,
if I heard it, I would.
Yeah, well, everybody knows that song, Your Love. I just want to
use your love.
Yeah. Fun fact.
Yes.
When I was a kid and I took guitar lessons, that's the first song I ever learned on the guitar.
And that is a great song, actually.
Yeah.
I don't mind it because you listen to it musically.
Mm-hmm.
It's got all those cool elements to it.
Well, the drums are wicked cool in that song.
Yeah.
It is a great song. So.
Absolutely. Melanie, who, by the way, is from Vermont, and I'm sure is quite familiar with the beaches of Rutland, says, I do question referring to the song Beach Zombies, I do question the use of sunscreen, though, because, well, they're dead. Well, I've always said, though, you're never too old to take care of your skin. You don't want, skin cancer, melanoma.
Yeah.
And if you're a zombie,
it probably would help maintain a little bit of flesh still on you for a while rather than drying out and crisping off and falling apart.
Exactly.
Preserve what you have left.
Exactly. Yes.
I'm all about it.
She also said, this is so fantastic. Everyone knows zombies love to make sandcastles.
Sometimes body castles if they try to climb over a wall.
Yes, exactly.
World War Z freaked me the hell out back then because, like, up until that point, I was used to, like, 28 Days Later zombies.
They're like ants.
And I'm like, oh, man, that's kind of freaky. They're running.
Yeah.
These ones are, like, full-on sprinting and throwing themselves at walls at Brad Pitt for, like, an hour and a half. And I'm like, I can't deal with this. If this was real life, I would not make it.
Right. No.
That's intense.
Certainly not. And tell us about because Andre, you had commented on this off air about the album and kind of exploring those different elements with people singing other than because you're primarily the lead singer. But actually, when I first met you guys before Axel was in the band, you were the singing drummer. You had a lot going on there at once.
Yeah, well, it was like so many things in my head that I had to try and get out. So it was like, how do you do it? You just have to do it. And so it put me into that place to just create.
Yeah.
Now with this album, it was a little bit different. It was more of like understanding that every band member has great talent.
Yeah.
And also has really good songwriting abilities. And so I kind of like took that little step back and let those guys like bring a lot of those ideas to the table. I mean, there was a couple of things that were like, I think, lyrically, my only input was like in the choruses of Monolith Lord.
Yeah.
And there were just a cool set of lyrics that I had written, a little thing that I had written down in a notebook. But then when Sean brought the song to us to be like, hey, listen to this, I kind of made this song up, and like, you know, he had some lyrics and I was just like, we can blend both of these together, and like,
yeah,
and that's how the song ended up coming. And it was just like also that weird connectiveness of the universe having multiple, or a single idea, but it spreads across on multiple planes.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that my brother was kind of like thinking of this same thing, and the monoliths were popping up all over the place too at the time. It was like that whole, we just discovered a monolith out here in this desert.
You remember that?
Oh, I do remember that.
In 2020, like there was like what, five that like ended up popping up.
Yeah,
just randomly throughout the like a good week. It was just like every other day, another one and another one.
Was that ever solved? I forgot all about it.
No, and it stopped for a while, and they just found another one recently.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Overseas.
So weird. Was that difficult for you to kind of let go a little bit, or was it a relief, or you know, to let the other guys in on that process, or what was that like?
I thought about it, and I mean, it was a choice, because I could be disappointed with it, or I could look at it as like a relief, just not even to be a relief, but just let other people have a chance.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how I looked at it, and was like, great things could come out of this.
Right.
You know, it's like, but that's also what creates that interconnectivity amongst all the members. You know?
Yeah.
Because we're all equal and in this together. So creating what is Dead Harrison.
Right.
You know? So it's like, yeah, it's not just my show. So we're well past the establishment of just the first starting and like, here's my ideas. And now we're into like a cohesive group. And so it's like really good to be able to showcase what everybody, eventually he'll write a song.
Yeah.
He just doesn't know it yet.
Yeah.
I mean, that thank you for that encouragement. I got nothing lyrically in the brain. just saying. But I
just hit things.
What he gave me a chance to do was to think outside of my own cohesive box of like what I think drums should be, or what I think hard metal should be.
Yeah.
I know I like keep jumping. I don't know why. Like you gave me the choice of like, do you want to do this or you want to do that? Like, do you want to just stay in this like rock and roll format, or do you want to like learn something? And like it was a like the first year was very very hit or miss, because like I play a certain way and he plays a certain way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, not like he plays better or I play better. Like, we just play two different styles.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And it took us a while to figure out that like we were thinking the exact same thing, but like we were coming from two different playing fields.
Mm-hmm.
So like he gave me the opportunity of like morphing of how I could make a fingerprint with this band instead of just like playing the same stuff. It's like, here's what I can do with this.
So when you joined the band, did you try to learn exactly how Andre played the songs, and then, but over time that kind of morphed a little bit? Or?
Well, that's a necessity, right? Like that's an absolute necessity. If you want a job, then you have to do what the requirements are.
Yeah.
The general aspect. So once you have that footing, then you can just muscle memory your own stuff as you go along.
Yeah.
And like there were other things I was doing, like my own practices and my own projects in my own career that were teaching me different stuff.
Yeah.
So like I would always learn and then come back to hear, to make it better. Like no offense to myself, but I was trash the first like 6 months. Like you guys are very, very gracious because like I must have been like a timid leaf
really?
The first 6 months. Like I really was. Like,
yeah.
I was like, oh no, oh no, because you, Andre, you play a certain way that requires not like you want to. It requires like endurance. It requires technique and precision. And like you need to know certain things to do certain things.
Yeah.
And I offhand did not know how to do certain like thrash stuff or punk stuff.
Yeah.
That he's like fluent with.
Yeah.
So like I learned a lot of old techniques that I should have learned in the first place.
Oh, okay.
And it's just not now. Now
it's
we
all
can,
about that raw spirit and power.
Yeah.
Like he just plays like in a raw emotion.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely puts me in my paces. So it's not like we, as I said, we don't play on the same level. We have a very aggressive way of playing two different ways.
Yeah.
So, and even on stage we can swap out and I'll just go up front with some percussion and he'll just jump on the drums. So
yeah. You ever do that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've done that a couple times. There was another thing that I was trying to do too, and it's nice if you have the stage, and that's bring 2 drum sets.
Oh yeah,
and we've done that.
And do a couple songs with double drums is like people are just like, what is that? That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it sounds so big.
Yeah. Is that hard? I mean, you don't see it often. You know, once in a while you'll see a dual drummer situation.
It's easier.
Is it? Yeah.
It's way easier.
It's not. No. When you know the songs and you know the things, and as a drummer, you are learning to pay attention to the other instruments that are going on at the same time. But, you know, having 2 drums can really like lock things in.
Yeah.
And it allows different stuff to happen too, because somebody can be carrying the regular rhythm and then the other drummer can go, oh, I'm going to put in some little polyrhythms.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Does it, when you do that, does it require one of you to kind of lay back and not, because you don't want to be doing fills at the same time, right? Or it's going to get messy, or maybe you do. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a drummer, but I'm fascinated by that dynamic, you know?
I think it's a very interesting thing. Yeah, so I'm sure that there's times where it can be hit or miss, but I mean, when you're in the moment, it's just like a drumming circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You know, except you have other instruments that are also going on that just help make that feel even that much. But I mean, at the same time, you know, you're already playing a song that you know.
Right.
So it's not like you may be making some stuff up, but you already have the gist of it that you're going to just glide right through it.
Yeah.
And you both lock in and it just happens.
Yeah.
It's like super cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. We should play another track. What do you think? Should we play Terror Grinder? I love this song. I loved hearing it live.
I think Terror Grinder would be a great one. Another, like, where does this southerny gospel rock come from? Like, it's like, what is this?
Well, I was going to ask you about, if there's anything we should know about this before we play it, because, I'm curious. Like I said, for me, it's one of my favorites that you guys have done.
I don't know. It just just the way it happened. Like Sean brought the lyrics to the table and was just like, "Hey, I got this song," and he had some kind of cool riffs, and I was just like, "Oh, like I just had this spontaneous idea. Like, let's make it this kind of feel."
Yeah,
and then switch it up into the chorus, and that's what it became.
And this is you guys singing together for the whole thing, right? Yeah, yeah. No, this is really good.
It's a Terror Grinder. It's just it's an entity that just grinds everything into powdered dust, and it's a terrored thing. Like you have to look at the album cover, what it actually looks like. It's menacing. It's just a beast that just grinds things.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's give this a spin. This is really good. This is Terror Grinder. This is Dead Harrison, and they are with us in studio. Check this out.
Storm the gates and wall the city, load the chamber of your God. We stayed asleep for a lifetime. The
That is Terror Grinder. The band is Dead Harrison, and they are with us in studio. Half of the band is here. We've got Axel Bagley and Andre Dumont here with us in the studio. And great track. You got to hear that live. If you have not seen Dead Harrison, you should see them live. And that song is because you guys opened with that at Terminus, and that for the open house.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
I really like it. Do you always open with that one? That's a strong.
No, not usually.
It's a strong opener, I think.
It is a good, strong opener.
Yeah.
It just so happened that same day we had band practice, so you probably just saw a bunch of rehearsals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's right. I think
To
you
be
guys.
honest.
I think you guys even said that during your set. Yeah. I think Jason Skulls said something like, "Yeah, this is like you're basically watching our rehearsal. Or something. Welcome to our rehearsal," and it was good. It was really good. Now, so the album is out, right? But only digitally. But you're going to have physical copies soon. Is that
just a little
the plan?
setback in the duplication process?
Yeah. And where does the name None for All? That's the name of the album. Where does that come from? Does that have any significance or?
It does kind of. To me, it's a little nod to Typo Negative, because in the lyrics of "The Dream Is Dead," there's a line that is "all for one and none for all." And so the more I thought about it, I was like, how do I give this little nod? And we had the album. It wasn't even an album before this. We had like 6 songs that we released that were all singles that were put out.
Yeah.
But I've always had it in my head that there's actually the 2 parts. And so those first bunch of singles, they never made it out to a CD. They never made it out for like physical copies.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still not out there. But those are all for none.
Okay.
And None for All is kind of like the part 2.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
eventually there's going to be a double CD set that has like those 2 things cohesively together plus some extra stuff on there.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. It must be nice too, being able to like with Terminus, being able to play there and to because it's just I tell everybody when we went to the open house, it was like, I think I probably said this to you, in fact, when we were talking, it's like walking into another world, walking into that room. It's so cool. And
You're walking into my world now.
and it's such a surprise, Who are some of the bands that you've had there? You've had a bunch of cool bands.
Whalen Park just played there.
Whalen Park, yeah.
Last week, I believe.
I love their
Sunset
sound.
Electric.
I know you had Conduit, right?
We had
Graniteers
Conduit there.
Graniteers, yeah.
Graniteers were there. Before that, Already Dead, and then there was When the Deadbolt Breaks.
Oh yeah, from Connecticut, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing is like just there's so many good bands, and it's awesome to be able to like do some things that obviously being in the scene like how and watching the state of our venues just go away, but it's trying to reinstill that element of like actually going to a place to enjoy music.
Right.
Nashua
really needed that, right?
Absolutely.
Because it
still does.
Yeah. I was surprised at how, because, there's quite a few places to play around here, but Nashua, yeah, it was like, there's really not that many places to play original music. So it's wonderful to have that, to have Terminus. Yeah.
Unless you're a cover band, then you can go and.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah. But if you're doing original music like you're doing, no, that's great. Oh, we should mention too, now, so Terror Grinder you recorded that with Erich Sauter.
Yes.
At Blackheart. Was the whole album done there, or
it was?
Yes. It was. Okay. Yeah, we had him on the show. I think it was a couple of months ago now, and his name comes up all the time. Of course, Erich Sauter from Blackheart.
He's a very busy man.
Absolutely.
He's one of the best in the business.
Yeah,
hands down. At least in the New England sector, he is one of the most prolific, if not like very masterful of his craft, audio engineer and producer. At least out here.
Yeah,
really, very highly respected.
Now, had you worked with him before None for All, or is this the first thing that Dead Harrison has done?
No, it was the first time working with him.
Okay.
So, like the other stuff was, the first album was done with my brother's friend who had just completed, audio engineering school.
Oh, no kidding.
So we were his like first thing that he was just trying to do out of school.
Yeah.
So it was, no cost or anything like that. It was just like, we're going to do a bunch of stuff. And we came up with an album. It sounds okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then just ended up making more connections. I ended up playing, filling in bass for another band, Hunter. And the drummer, Connor, has an excellent ear for recording.
Yeah, we've had them a long time ago. We've had them on the show. Yeah.
Yeah, and now he's in No More Blues Tomorrow. That's his new project.
Yep. Okay.
But he's got a great ear.
Yeah.
And he recorded like 4 songs for us. And then our friend Joel Simkus from Tufts University radio station.
Oh,
he's their audio engineer.
Is that WMFO?
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
And so he recorded another 2 songs, I believe.
Okay.
And those were the latest 2 singles before this one here.
Yeah. Nameless Dream being one of them, right?
Yeah. Nameless Dream and I'm trying to think of what the other one was.
I just blanked too.
My brain is just like, it's too much. Yeah, it'll come to me.
It'll come to you when you're not thinking about it.
Yeah.
But that's one of them.
30 minutes down the road.
When you started recording with Erich at Blackheart, was the intention to do a full album from the beginning, or
yes.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
We definitely had the material at that point.
Yeah,
and it was good to also be able to put that focused energy and really work on making something good and solid. I mean, there's a moments where you're just like, oh, I want to put this in, and I want to put this in, and I want to put this in, but it's a long process.
Yeah.
So, it was just, let's get it focused, let's get it done, and having somebody that kind of understands the music genre that you're kind of in. What do you put us in as a genre? You can't really put us in as a genre. We're weird like that.
Yeah.
We have a sound, but we're also a little bit everywhere.
Right.
And so, just going into studio there was just, let's focus and get it done and make something really cool and good.
Yeah. How long ago did this come out digitally? How long ago? It hasn't been that long.
No,
right?
it was released last month.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And we've actually been done with the recording since last October.
Okay.
It's just the process of...
It's the process of going through, getting the right mixes, and then mastering, and then, and on top of that, I was holding it off from the world for a little while I was finishing up the artwork for the album.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So,
I want to look at, because I have your Bandcamp page open. Yeah. Do you always do the artwork? Do you do all the covers for Dead Harrison and all the? Do you do that all yourself?
I do actually.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it.
Yeah. No, it's really striking.
You're like the main guy.
Yeah, and I mean that's it. They are their own things.
Yeah.
I was challenged a little bit this time, because I had made some minor mistakes in the first album, and didn't know anything about rasterizing print and all this other stuff. So I ended up sending it off, and in the CD, the print was kind of hard to read.
Oh, okay.
Things like that, and so, but that was 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And then I was starting to work on this, but also gaining a little bit more knowledge in how to do everything, and at the same time honing my graphic designing skills a little bit, because I like to do all of our flyers and stuff like that too. So
yeah,
it was even my brother was like, hey, let's get an actual graphics person to put all this stuff together, get a designer together, and just when you realize and understand the cost of this,
yeah,
it's a different story. I'm like, trust me, brother, I have this.
Yeah.
I've gained so much knowledge, and and even the when I submitted all the artwork for it to get duplicated, even the guy over there was just like, that artwork is amazing. It's going to look so good in this album.
Oh, that's cool. It's good to get that kind of validation, because obviously he probably doesn't say that to a lot of people. That's really good.
When you're putting out like hundreds of thousands of CDs over the course of your career.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. That's awesome. Well, we should, I want to make sure we have time to get this last track in, but what should people know about Dead Harrison, how to find you guys online, and what the next show is? The show at Terminus in June, is that the next show you have, the next live show?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So, and that's at 134 Haynes Street in Nashua. It's our little home base, and we've decided to like kick it up a notch and start presenting other bands and other talent. And it's like, no, you come to see a show there, you're gonna get a good show.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get good sound.
Yep.
You're gonna the feedback from everybody has always just been amazing.
Oh yeah,
So being a person that, as a musician, I know what I kind of would like at a show, and to give those other musicians the same thing, it makes such a huge difference, and you get that energy and you get that feeling and emotion out of the music too.
Absolutely.
Got deadharrison.com.
Deadharrison.com.
We have a website.
Facebook, Instagram. I don't usually use the Instas and stuff like that. But yeah, we're all out there online. You can easily search it in any search bar, and it'll probably come up at this point.
Yeah, you guys are very Googleable, as I like to say.
Yep.
Yes.
Find the music, Spotify, YouTube,
Deezer.
iTunes, everywhere.
Yes.
Legit everywhere. It's either Dead Harrison or Dead Harrison Official.
Yep.
Find us anywhere.
Yeah. Excellent. So we're going to close with this track, Hurricane Hell. Anything we should know about this? What is is this expressing a concern about the upcoming hurricane season?
No, this is my brother going down on vacation down to Florida and being witness of what a hurricane did down there.
What hurricane? Do you remember?
I can't remember.
I think it was the after effects of
the after effects of
either Sandy or Katrina. One of the it was a major one.
Yeah, one of the major recent ones in the past few years.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
There was like still that aftermath and all that stuff, and he had went down there recently after it and like saw that, and it kind of inspired him to write a song about it.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
There's a Sean song.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. And does he sing on this one too?
Yep.
So he wrote the lyrics and he sings this one?
I sing this one. But he also is like backup vocals. Like
gotcha.
Another good one with some nice harmonies in there.
Yeah. No, you guys sound great when you sing together. Absolutely. All right. So we'll conclude the segment with this. Coming up third hour, we have Nancy Manet. And also in between, we're going to have Erich Pilcher's classic film review. But guys, thank you again so much. Wonderful to see you both, Andre and Axel.
Thank you, Matt.
Always a pleasure to have you guys on. We're big fans, as you know. And we will close out with this. This is Hurricane Hell, and the band is Dead Harrison.
seems real. All the sound and pain are all that we feel.
And he said that there's going to be a big war over there in, what is it? Vietnam. And he said that the Marines are going to be the first ones in and ain't going to last too long.
That's right. So if we don't sign up soon, we're going to miss it. I've already decided. I'm going in.
Really? Just like that?
Yeah, I'm not waiting. I'm going in now.
Come on, man, you crazy.
No, you're crazy. Our dad's got to go to WW2. This is our chance to do something. To be part of history, guys.
Yeah, just like our dads. You should think about what you're doing, you know, Ronnie? Come on. It could be dangerous over there, you know? You could get yourself killed. Did you ever think about that? Where you going, squirrel head? College? Well, I want to do something with my life. Yeah, I can get a degree in business administration.
Yeah, and you don't think you need to serve your country?
Don't you care about anybody but yourself? Huh? Better dead than red.
No, I got missiles pointed at us everywhere. ICBMs.
They're coming in all around us.
Cuba now, 90 miles away.
Ronnie, we're taking over the
Yeah,
whole
when are we
world.
going to stop them, huh?
Ronnie, you ain't Superman. You can't stop them away
I'm
yourself.
on theory. Communism is moving in everywhere.
Oh, yeah, sure. Where, Ronnie? I don't see them. They're not right here in Massapequa, so I'm just going to take care of number one. No, that's right, Timmy. Me, Stevie, number one.
Stevie, it's okay. Because someone's got to stay home with the women and children while the men go do the fighting.
That's right. You guys are nuts. And I'm getting out of here. All I'm saying is you should just think about it, you know? Just think about it, Ronnie.
Hey, Stevie, who you taking to the prom?
Wendy Daniels.
Wendy Daniels?
Wendy Daniels?
I desperately need to go away.
Well, when are you taking Joey?
These youths were many youths in the early 60s that were on the cusp of adulthood. They were faced with the decision to serve their country, go to college, or just simply work. Many made the choice to enlist, and that led to them fighting in one of the most controversial wars in American history, the Vietnam War. For the man that is the subject of this week's film, it led him down a path of despair, heroism, and ultimately renowned activist. Released in 1989 and based off the autobiography of the same name, Born on the 4th of July is the story of Ron Kovic, played by Tom Cruise, a man that enlists in the Marines and serves 2 tours of duty in Vietnam. It is during his second tour he is wounded and suffers a severed spinal cord due to a gunshot. This causes him to be paralyzed and sets him on an eventual path of activism. Our next clip is from a 1977 interview with Kovic following the release of his autobiography. In this clip, he speaks about his life growing up and why he chose to serve, and the wretched treatment he faced upon returning from Vietnam.
Top it all off, he was born on the 4th of July, so that every 4th of July when the country was celebrating his birthday, Ron Kovac was celebrating his birthday as well. The country is celebrating its birthday. Ron Kovac went to Vietnam and served not one but 2 tours of duty. In the second tour of duty, as you may already know, he was shot twice, once in the foot, and the second time, I think through his back, shattered his spinal cord, and he, Ron Kovac, was paralyzed from the chest down. This experience that he relates in his book called Born on the 4th of July is one of the most painful and ugly experiences I've ever read about. And I've wanted to have him here on Midday to share some time with you for a long time. So Ron Kovac is with us. You may remember he nominated Fritz Efaw at the Democratic National Convention here in New York last summer. Last week he was arrested for the 10th time at Kent State, protesting the controversy there about a gymnasium. Ron, you know how I feel about this. I'm fine. How are you?
Good to see you.
I want to share something. Normally, if you're one of my regular, viewers, if you watch our show, I'm essentially pretty relaxed during the interview. I am not going to say what will happen to me during this. I found reading this book, Born on the 4th of July, which I finished about 8:20 this morning, to be a real emotional experience for me. I could feel your pain as I was reading this book. Let's not assume that everybody has read the book, or let's not assume that everybody knows everything about you. Let's just find out a little bit about your background.
I was born on the 4th of July in 1946, and I guess you could say I was an all-American boy. I loved this country. I believed in what John Wayne said, and Howdy Doody, Rudy Kazootie, Sergeant York. I was a child of the 50s. I can remember John F. Kennedy?
Of course.
Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. I believed that, Bill. And I believed in America, and I believed that what we were doing in Vietnam was right, and I went, like millions of other young men.
When did you first go, Ron? What year did you enlist?
1964, September, I joined the United States Marine Corps because the ad down at the post office said, the Marine Corps builds men, body, mind, and spirit, and I wanted to be a man, and I wanted
Plus,
to
you were a
serve my
pretty
country.
tough guy. I mean, you were an athlete. You were a star wrestler.
I was the best pole vaulter at Massapequa High School. I was a real good wrestler, too.
Yeah, I know that. So you joined the Marines, and how did you feel about killing? I mean, you had played with guns and toys when you were a kid, just like I had, and just like a lot of people.
Well, the first person that I killed, Bill, was an American, and I didn't feel good about that at all. And the second group of people that I killed were Vietnamese children, and that made me feel worse.
But I mean going into it, Ron. I mean, the whole mentality.
I believe that all of us grew up with John Wayne, with whole movie, cinema, image, the toy guns, the Manet submachine guns that we got every Christmas. The whole generation was prepped and hyped and conditioned by our culture, which is so violent and which so romanticizes war. We were ready to go. We were ready to fight. We thought that the war was going to be like the John Wayne movies, but it wasn't. It was different. And when we came home and tried to tell the American public about the reality of the Vietnam War, that it wasn't a war to help people, but it was a crime against humanity and against the Vietnamese people. And they didn't listen to us. They threw us in jail. They called me a traitor. They spit in my face.
In the film following his injury, Kovac is forced to stay at a veterans hospital in the Bronx, where the nursing staff abuses drugs. The conditions are horrible, with rats crawling around, and patients sleeping in their own feces in most cases, and struggling to get even the littlest things, such as a shower. This begins his disillusionment with America and its government. The next clip we hear is that this does run much deeper. Kovac, while sitting with his childhood friend, reflects on his injury. In this, we can hear the despair in his voice and the issues he has coming to terms with his permanent injury.
When'd you get hit?
Me? Well, January 20th. Yes, someplace Jesus, I don't even remember. Near some river up in the DMZ. Walked into a whole battalion of them. Got shot in the foot, and I just got up running around like I was back in the woods again. Like I was Jonathan Wayne or something. Emptying a mag, screaming, "Come on, Charlie!" This loud crack above my right ear, and I just felt my body drop out from under me. I crashed. I thought I was dead for sure.
You see, I was at hospital.
Sucked, really.
I know.
Bad.
I'll tell you something, Ronnie. Sometimes at night, I get these headaches, Feel bad. And they just kind of come over me, They just come, like I'm going crazy or something. And I don't feel like me anymore, I feel like When they come, I feel like somebody else, you know?
What can you do? What do you do when that happens?
Nothing. Not a goddamn thing, you know? Well, mostly I do a lot of drugs. The only thing you can, you know, man. You get through it any way you know how.
When I was in the hospital, I thought, yeah, this makes sense.
What makes sense?
Because I failed, Timmy.
What are you talking about?
Because I killed some people. I made some terrible mistakes.
Ronnie, Christ's sakes, we all made mistakes. I mean, you had no choice. That's something them goddamn pansy demonstrators. They're never gonna understand. Now, look, Ronnie, you don't even got to talk about it. I mean, it was insane over there. It was crazy.
Sometimes I wish I'd... First time I got hit, I was shot in the foot. I could have laid down. I mean, paralyzed, castrated that day. Why? I was so stupid. I think, Timmy, I give everything I believe in, everything I got, all my values, just to have my body back again, just to be whole again. I'm not whole. I never will be, and that's the way it is, isn't it?
For Christ's sake, Ronnie. It's your birthday. You're alive. You made it. Smile.
What makes this film truly powerful is seeing the evolution of Kovic. After the aforementioned deplorable conditions, his depression, drinking, and frequent fits of rage causing estrangement from his family, he becomes an activist and speaks against the war he strongly supported for so long, even a short time after his injury. Our final two clips show this difference. First, at a 4th of July parade in his hometown, Ron speaks after returning home. However, after a baby crying causes a flashback, he stops dead in his tracks. Then, at the 1972 Democratic National Convention, Ron is protesting and speaks out against his government and the war. Again, I want you all to hear the difference in words and tone in Kovac with these two scenes.
Ron, come over here and say a few words, would you please? Ron Kovac, ladies and gentlemen, was born on the 4th of July, 1946. So let's give him a big hand on his great birthday.
I just want to say for all the guys in Vietnam that we're doing our best. It's not an easy situation. But the boys' morale over there is real high. And you can feel confident that we are going to win that war. I serve my country. And I don't want you to feel sorry for me. Do not shed a tear. I have my hands, my eyes, my ears. I have my heart. And I have what I feel. I have what I feel is an unquenchable
And now, Ron's protest.
What do you have to say to these people?
My name is Ron Kovic. I'm a Vietnam veteran. My name is Ron Kovic. I'm a Vietnam veteran. I'm here tonight to say that this war is wrong, that this society lied to me, it lied to my brothers. See, the people in this country tricked them into going 13,000 miles to fight a war against the poor peasant people who have a proud history of resistance, who have been struggling for their own independence for 1,000 years, the Vietnamese people. I can't find the words to express how the leadership of this government sickens me. People say, if you don't love America, then get the hell out. Well, I love America. We love the people of America very much, but when it comes to the government, it stops right there. The government is a bunch of corrupt thieves, they are rapists and robbers, and we are here to say that we don't have to take it anymore. We are here to say, we are here to tell the truth. They are killing our brothers in Vietnam. We want them to hear the truth tonight. We are here. Spit in the face. We're never going to let the people of the United States forget. You don't want to hear it. Never. I don't want to hear it. This wasn't some fair happening. And you're not going to sweep it because you didn't like the ratings like some television show. This wheelchair, our wheelchairs, this steel, our steel is your Memorial Day on wheels. We are your Yankee Doodle Dandy come home. We are your Yankee Doodle Dandy come home.
Let's reject any philosophy that would make us the divided people of America.
Some sort of scuffle or commotion has broken out on the floor of the convention. Disabled veterans protesting the war in Vietnam. We're going to try to get a microphone down there.
Why are they gassing us out in the parking lot? Why are they fighting us? Because it is a lie. The truth is that they have killed a whole generation of young men. They have sacrificed a whole generation of young men. Stop the violence.
Tendency to run down those who have served America in the past and who serve it today. Let's give those who have served in Vietnam the honor and the respect that they deserve and that they've earned.
A film this powerful and memorable defies awards nominated for and won. It supersedes box office draw. But as is tradition with this show, we shall quickly go over those details. The film was the 10th highest grossing film of 1989. It was nominated for 8 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Director for Oliver Stone, and Best Actor for Tom Cruise. And this is the film that truly showed his range as a performer. It won for Best Director, which was Stone's second award, and Best Sound Editing. However, the greatest award was the one Kovac gave Cruise as a birthday present and for his performance. Kovac gave Cruise his Bronze Star because he said Cruise showed great bravery in his performance. Finally, some might be asking why I chose this film for Memorial Day. I chose this film because there are times that I feel we all have a skewed view of the military. These young men and women choose to serve this country. They don't choose where they are sent. They serve knowing that wherever they are sent, that could end up being the place where they take their final breaths. To me, the Vietnam veterans are forgotten to a degree. They deserve the same respect and honor any other veterans have, surviving or otherwise. The only choice they made was to defend us, our honor, and freedoms. They didn't choose where they did this, the conditions they were under. And that is something that we all need to remember, not just on Memorial Day, not just on Veterans Day, but every day of every year. I hope you will join me next week when we will finally look at the 1989 film Major League. For WMNH and Matt Connarton Unleashed, this has been a Classic Film Review with Erich Pilcher.
In times of crisis, you need a law firm that stands by your side. With over 40 years of experience, Craig and Getsoulis is dedicated to fighting for your rights. As former state prosecutors, our attorneys have the knowledge and trial experience to provide an aggressive defense against any charge, from DUIs to homicides. If you've been injured, our compassionate team will assess your case and fight for the compensation you deserve. Serving all of New Hampshire, Craig and Getsoulis is here when you need us most. Visit CraigGetZoulis.com or call 603-555-1234 for a free consultation. Craig and Getsoulis, your advocates, your allies.
Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, 3 dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
Bring your kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry, located at 87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at queencitycabinetrynh.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH.
Need storage space? Look no further than Morgan Self Storage. With many size units available, our indoor units are climate controlled and our wood floors alleviate any concern about moisture. Our facility is well lit and monitored for safety. Privately owned by the Morgan family for over 25 years. Mention WMNH and get $100 off upon move-in on select units. We're open 7 days a week. Call us at 603-623-2000 or visit morganstorage.com.
Diz's Cafe is the place to put a smile on your face. Judy and the crew will take care of you. Bring your appetite and treat your taste buds right. Diz's Cafe is always a winning choice. Breakfast, lunch, or supper. Diz's Cafe at 860 Elm Street in downtown Manchester. Dine in, take out, or make a reservation. Call 603-606-2532. Eat, drink, and be happy. Diz's Cafe.
When it comes to keeping WMNH on the air and your own personal or business computer needs, trust Groland Computers. Located on Elm Street in Manchester, Groland handles computer repair, virus removal, and custom-built systems. Are you looking for budget-friendly options? Check out our selection of fully inspected used computers. We offer tailored on-site solutions. No unnecessary expenses here. Visit Groland.com or call Groland Computers at 603-645-0101. Your tech, your way. Trust Groland Computers.
Midnight. 7 times out of 10, we listen to our music at night. Thus spawned the title of this program.
Late Night Delight with DJ Midas, right here on WMNH Manchester.
You wanna know why? Because I'm on the radio.
Saturdays and Sunday nights, midnight to 4 a.m.
This hour on WMNH is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 5 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn. They serve all your business needs, including employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
Behold the harmony of airwaves as you immerse yourself in the captivating frequencies of WMNH-LP, the sonic heartbeat of Manchester, transcending through the ether at 95.3 megahertz frequency modulation. Our transmissions emanate from the zenith of 1000 Elm Street. Venture into the heart of our creative realm at 119 Canal Street, where innovation and sound collide. We bear the imprimatur of Manchester Public Television Service in the venerable city of Manchester, New Hampshire, USA. Cafe. Enrich your auditory journey with the depth of our licensed residents. Dispatch your missives to WMNH953@gmail.com or traverse the virtual corridors of WMNHradio.org. Engage with our sonic vibrations by communing with us through the digital channels. Your radio beckons, eager to enthrall you with its mesmerizing cadence and envelop you in a symphony of boundless auditory wonder.
WMNH, rip the knob off.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are well into hour number 3, Numero Trace, on this Saturday morning, May 25, 2024. Of course, Memorial Day weekend. Jenny is here at the news table.
Present and accounted for.
Yes, yes. And we have joining us live in studio, all the way from Texas. Nancy Manet is here. Hello.
Hi. Thank you
Let's. I gotta get that level up on your mic there. Boy, that's. Go ahead and say something, Nancy.
Hello.
Boy, it's quiet, huh? This mic is quiet. Can you just tap that mic for me? Yeah, it's definitely coming through. But boy, you hear that buzz? I don't like that buzz. Let me.
I'll switch the mics for you.
Yeah. Let's. Oh, you know what? Boy, that buzz is awful. I don't know why it's doing that. Yeah.
Hello.
That's better, I think.
Hello.
Boy, there's still that buzz though.
Do you want me to move something?
Yeah, let's do that. I don't know why it's making that buzzing, but it's awful. Very unpleasant. Sorry about this, Nancy. We're gonna move that mic over. And yeah, so if you're just if you're joining us live, we're playing musical microphones here on Matt Connarton Unleashed. But I think that will work. We can move that. Well, Nancy could move over in the chair too to move closer if that would be easier. But would that work? Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, I just don't want that. I don't want that buzz while you're playing live. That's not going to be good. But that mic will pick up everything. That'll pick up you and the guitar really well. So we'll be in good shape. And I'll edit this out of the podcast part. But yeah, if you're just joining us, Nancy Manet is with us live in studio on this Saturday morning. Nancy was with us a number of weeks ago via Skype, and but she's on tour now. Let me pull that mic up there, and oh, the buzz is gone. That's good. Oh, yeah. Nancy is on tour right now, going through the Northeast, and so we're happy to. Oh, there you go. Perfect. All right. Oh, okay. Pull that mic up there. All right.
Sorry about that.
Why is that mic quiet?
Which mic?
Her mic.
Her mic?
Yeah, go ahead and talk, Nancy.
Test.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
I can hear.
Yes, we have you. All right, wonderful. Yeah, so tell us. So you're doing a bunch of tour dates up here, up our way.
I am. Yes.
Where are you going to be? So you've got a show tomorrow, right? In
I do
Worcester.
in Worcester.
Yes.
The front room.
Have you ever been up here before to the Northeast?
I have. Yeah.
Okay.
I've spent some time vacationing, and many times I've come over here. We lived in Madison for a better part of 20 years, and this region became the easy flight over from, Madison Airport. So
yeah, excellent. And you're going to play live for us. How many songs were you thinking about doing?
A couple of songs.
Okay, okay. You've got your guitar, and you've also, of course, we've got some studio tracks. We can play some of those too. We featured last time, and we can do that again as well. And I learned something. You have a book. We should talk about that right at the top, just briefly. The book. Actually, if you want to, the camera's on you. If you want to hold one up. Or
I didn't realize there's a camera.
Yeah, we're live on Facebook.
Well,
yes. Yeah, tell us about the book.
So this is a children's book that is an adaptation of a song I wrote for my daughter called My Expansion. And the premise is I entered into the world myself as a very rigid, conservative, religious, up from that type of an upbringing, to raising a child that, sorry, we're still kind of messing with the mic.
Yeah, that's all right.
Raising a child who really beat to her own drum. And around 5 years old, she just started asking, "Hey, Mom, why do you believe what you believe?" And I was like, "I really don't know why I believe what I believe. Let me think about it." And as we had conversations throughout her lifetime, and she came out as queer, and she was really nervous with how the family would receive her, and I grew, expanded, and changed everything of who I am because of that little girl coming into the world. So I wrote a song about it, and then we adapted it for a children's book because it's really written from the view of a child changing the parent.
Yeah, and what's so interesting about that, don't worry about the mic, Nancy. What we're going to do is we're going to play a studio track in a moment, and we'll switch you to that middle seat.
This seat is too...
I think the middle seat, because it looks like that mic is staying exactly in place, so I think we'll have better luck over there. So we'll play a studio track, and then we'll come back and have you play live. No, but what's interesting, because we were talking off air about the book, and you were saying how, was it the publisher was saying, someone was telling you how unusual it is.
Yes,
to have a book where it's the child who changed the parent and helped the parent to evolve.
Yes, and especially on any topics that are related to children, but children who are LGBTQIA.
Yeah.
It's usually the parent is already very inclusive and very accepting, and humans are humans, and the end. And versus a parent who really entered the world with a completely different view and belief system.
Yeah.
And that the child coming into the world really changed the parent, changed me.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. Well, let's play a studio track, and I want to make sure that we play something that you're not going to play live, so we're not...
Well, why don't we start with my expansion?
Okay. Let's see here.
We'll just tie into...
No, that's perfect.
That story.
There it is. Yep. Okay. I want to make sure I have the right track here. So what we're going to do is we're going to play this, check this out, and then we'll get you moved over while the song is on. And Nancy Manet is here with us live in studio. She's going to play live for us, but check this out. This is called My Expansion. The great Nancy Manet here on Matt Connarton Unleashed.
You enter the world, and out of the gate, you never accept status quo today. You blazed a trail that was all your own, even though being queer was not well known. When others were wearing polo shirts, you wanted tattoos under your skirt. Being like them was never okay. You began to proceed in your special way. Oh, you are my expansion. You are my You taught me to think that the world was not it to be. You open my eyes. There is so much more to consider than all the years before. You don't believe exactly what I do. Yes, engage in the world as the authentic you. Your path is your path. It's not mine to judge. My job is to love you with love from above. Oh, you are my expansion. Are my
That is called My Expansion. That is the great Nancy Manet. I was saying her name wrong incorrectly earlier, so I apologize. Let me get that. Gotcha on a new mic there, and get everybody's mics up here. So wonderful. Yeah, great track, and of course we played that because we were just talking about that. How do people get the book, by the way, the My Expansion?
It is available in a lot of bookstores, so it's Barnes and Noble. It's,
Okay.
It's available online at a large online presence.
Where all of your finer books are sold.
And it's also available on my website. So
Okay, very good. You want to play something for us?
Sure.
Dying to hear you play live.
okay.
This is very cool. Of course, if you're just tuning in, we have Nancy Manet with us live in studio. And last time Nancy was with us, it was via Skype, but she's on tour doing some dates in the Northeast. And so it's wonderful to have you here.
Thank you. I'm so excited
Yeah.
to be here and to get to actually meet you two in person.
Oh, well, we're very honored. We're very honored.
Oh, I'm honored. Thank you.
Yeah. So whenever you're ready, if you want to tell us about what you're going to play, and then we'll hear what you got.
Okay, I'm going to play a piano song on guitar.
Okay.
My joke is I'm a pianist
Yeah.
that plays guitar.
Yeah, okay.
And so I'm going to play Insecurities.
All right.
And I actually wrote this after a woman that I did not know targeted me for some anger and blame, and I was even confused, and I actually cried a little bit, and was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And I said, you know what, I need to process this, so I sat down and wrote Insecurities.
All right.
Oh, your insecurities, they are not mine to bear. And I will not apologize, I will not be compared. And I'll show up, in this world exactly as I am. It's not my fault that you yourself aren't willing to expand. I have spent years working on myself to be who I am today. There are days that I just could not see, so I fell to my knees and prayed. If you don't like who you have become, decide and change your ways. Take some time and look inside. You might have some to blame. Oh, your insecurities, they are not mine to bear. And I will not apologize, I will not be need something that is new. Love yourself and who you are. Make no excuse and you'll go far. Don't play games, who has the time? Take your authority. If you're not happy, just walk away. Not your target, I'm not your prey. Oh, it's not allowed for you to say the words you've chosen to speak to me today. No, it's not allowed for you to say the words you've chosen to speak to me today. Oh, your insecurities, they aren't my cross to bear. And I will not apologize, I will not be compared. When I'll show up in this world exactly as I am. Well, it's not my fault that you yourself aren't willing to expand. No, it's not my fault that you yourself aren't willing to expand. No, it's not allowed for you to say the words you've chosen to speak to me today. No, it's not allowed.
Oh, beautiful.
That was awesome.
Yeah, love your voice. Really, really good to hear you live. Now, remind us too about the album. How long is this? How long has this been out? Is this
It just
relatively
came out
new?
yesterday.
Yesterday. Okay.
Yeah.
So right. So when we had you on before, it was about to come out.
Yes.
Okay.
We had some singles that were coming out beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations! So this is So this is brand new. That's fantastic.
It is.
Yeah. And are you playing? And when you play live, are you playing all the songs on your tour? Are you playing everything from the album, or are you just...
I am, and I'm sprinkling in some things that are coming out later this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kind of weave the story together.
Yeah, as we were talking off air about, you're already working on more stuff, right?
We're going back because in June I'm recording album 3 and 4.
Okay.
And album 2 will come out in October.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Similar themes, or are you going to get into some other subjects on the or how
album 3 and 4 is completely different.
Completely different.
I mean, it's still my style, right?
Yeah.
But there's a, your producer gives you challenges and says, take this and okay, I'll try this, and hey, Nancy, you may not have to be so heavy in your bass line. Like, okay.
Yeah.
And so I really had a lot of fun writing over the last 6 months a whole new set of 20.
Okay.
But the first set of 17, 9 are here, and the remainder will come out as a larger work in October. So
is there something appealing about kind of working on new stuff and leaving? I mean, obviously you're not leaving this behind. The album just came out.
Right.
But at the same time, does it feel good to already be working on other music that is not connected to this current project?
Yes, of course, because this project and even this 9-song debut has been a lifetime in the making.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I started writing it a lifetime ago. I really only started writing bits and pieces in 2020.
Yeah.
And really dove into it 22, 23, and then got into the studio.
Yeah.
But it's the story of trauma to hope, and it's really the story that it's autobiographical.
Yeah.
100% autobiographical of things I've experienced, and as I've come through them, I put it to song, and in the hopes that it would, one, identify and relate,
mm-hmm.
and then also encourage.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of, we talked the last time, there's just a lot of destruction, a lot of abuse, a lot of pain that people are suffering.
Yeah.
And we can get through it. We absolutely can. I am living proof of that.
We may have touched on this before, but do you hear from anybody regarding the music itself? Like, Do you hear from any of the, shall we say, the characters from this real life saga that you've been through about these songs? I'm going to take that as a yes.
Okay. So a story.
Yeah.
All right. At Christmas time, so I've written a Christmas song, and I thought, I would like to go share this song with my adoptive mother.
Yeah.
So you know the story. I was awarded the state at birth.
Yeah.
And the foster system, and then I was adopted. And then in that family structure of that adoption, my dad died when I was 12, and I was left in the hands of a borderline personality disorder. And so fast forward to this time of life, there are some very strong boundaries that I have in place.
Mm-hmm.
And even strong boundaries to access. And so but she's much older. And I thought, I wrote this beautiful Christmas song. My dad died on Christmas. And so I want to share it with her.
Yeah.
People can heal, people love, people grow, people change. And I went and visited her at her home, and my adoptive brother was there meeting me in the driveway and said, if you share this story, we'll sue you.
Mm.
I was like, wait, I'm here to share about Christmas and generosity all year long.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh. And I went in and said hello, and it was like, wow, this has not changed at all. And I exited and I said, okay.
Yeah.
And I actually said, as I walked out the door, I said, if that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
And I was like,
but
this is a story of
Then
hope.
you have to admit that you're it.
Well, that's the thing.
That's my thought process when I'm writing. It's like, then you have to come forward and say, you're the one.
Right.
Yeah. And even in this conversation I had with her, she's in relationship with, she still has a friendship with my second ex-husband, is the one that tried to kill me. And she said, well, he didn't intend.
Oh, yeah.
So Mom, you agree that he put a pillow over my head. She goes, well, yeah, he said he did, but he said it wasn't his intention to kill you. He just wanted to get your attention.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I resent who you tell me I can be friends with. And I'm like, oh, Merry Christmas and peace on earth and goodwill toward men.
Yeah.
Was that the last conversation?
That is.
Yeah, I got you.
And the album's coming out, and a bit more work is coming out. And,
yeah.
Good on you for sharing it, though, because it really needs to. There's a lot of people out there, way more people than we maybe want to admit in society. And when they hear somebody like you, they know, oh, I can survive this.
Yes.
I can get out of this.
And we don't have to hide, because pre this coming out, I did not know if I ever was going to sing in public again.
Really?
Yes, because this is post Pillow Man.
Yeah.
And I was not certain, because there was a long period of time during the pandemic shutdown. I was stalked. My children were stalked. I actually moved out of state so that I would not get stalked anymore.
Yeah.
But my daughter continued to get stalked. And so it's a real thing. And
Yeah.
so for me to come public also means I run those risks.
Right.
And I thought, you know what? No, that's actually, I will not be silenced.
Yeah.
Right? I've spent my whole life, within groups of people that have tried to silence. I'm like, it's no more.
Yeah.
I will not be silenced. And this isn't about, I'm not an angry person.
Yeah.
This is really about, it's a road of healing.
Yeah.
And we've talked about mental health. I joke that I have a PhD in being therapy, because it's a lot of therapy. I've had to go back and go, why did I make that decision?
Right.
And how did I end up there? And what is this? And I still believe in love. I still believe in love is the answer. I still believe it can solve the world's problems if we actually think about each other.
Right.
And listen. Do we all agree? I mean,
Yeah.
You might like coffee with cream, and I like it black. Who knows? We don't all have the same taste or agree, but
Right.
boy, if we really leave with love and the best interest of humans,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think a lot of that starts with the supporting of those who have been really wounded and hurt and marginalized, and instead of making them the enemy.
Yeah. Absolutely. You want to play another one?
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you're just joining us, Nancy Manet is here with us live in studio. She's currently on tour in the Northeast, and we're very glad to have her here.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Whenever you're ready, just go for it. If you want to tell us about what you're going to play.
I'm going to play Addiction, and this is about the father of my kids. We were married for 18 years, and we did not lose him to death, but we lost him to the street.
Oh.
The codone, highly narcotic, highly addictive painkiller era. And we walked through that for about 8 years with him.
Oh, wow.
And that ended that relationship. And so it was the kids and I on our own. And later on in life, I wrote this song, and I realized, oh, wow. If anybody has ever walked through loving an addict, you just, all you want to do is just love them. And like I said, I just really believe love can solve a lot of things.
Yeah.
We also have to do our work.
Right. Exactly.
It kind of goes hand in hand.
Exactly.
My heart just broke, and I cannot figure out what I always do that makes you want to shout. Why do you say the things that cut me to the core, filter me through the lens of those who come before? My heart's desire is to love you, your kindness and all the things you do. But when I ask, it triggers something deep. You come out fighting and I weep. Why would I be blocked on that special day? Why would you think I just get in the way? What is more important than giving me a call? What are you hiding? How far did you fall? What is more important than giving me a call? Oh, what are you hiding? How far did you fall? But my heart's desire is to love you, your kindness and all the things you do. But when I ask, it triggers something deep. You come out fighting and I weep. All I wanted is to love you, for the man you don't want me to see. When I ask, it triggers something deep. Oh, you come out swinging and I weep. You come out fighting and I weep.
Very nice.
That was excellent.
Very nice. Nancy Manet here with us live in studio on this Saturday morning, and sounding great. Is it unusual to be singing this early?
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of our musical guests, they come on, they're like, oh, this is no, you sound great though, but I know it's probably pretty unusual. We had a band on St. Patrick's Day weekend. We had a band in who was like, no, this is normal for us because they play a lot of shows on St. Patrick's Day weekend, and a lot of those kind of shows they start very early. But yeah, for most of the guests we have on, it is unusual. But so the show in Worcester, you're doing that's all acoustic?
That's all unplugged.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Again, I'm laughing. It's like, I actually called the company and said, can I get an acoustic piano delivered?
No kidding.
I did.
Yeah.
And they're unable to deliver it. But
yeah.
I thought, okay, this is going to be a lot of fun. I'll play my expansion on the guitar.
No, it works. It works great.
That's going to be at the front room in Worcester tomorrow.
Very good. Very good.
See, and if you go to Nancy Manet, NancyManet.com, you can find a lot of great information, upcoming dates of her concerts, as well as all of her music and bio information. So check it out.
Do you always, is it always you solo, or do you ever play with a band?
Yeah,
or?
well, right now in this leg it's solo.
Yeah.
We are working on our band.
Oh, cool.
Start up after we finish our next recording.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, we need a strings department.
Yeah.
As well.
That's boy, hard enough to find a drummer. You need a strings department? My goodness.
At least a quartet.
Yeah. Well, there you go. We might have talked about this before, but the new material that you're working on, are you playing any of that on the current tour, or are you holding out until you record it?
It's interesting. Well, the stuff that's coming out in October, yes, I am sprinkling some of that in. I have another song that's coming out in a month from now.
Yeah.
That's all part of this connecting story that starts with the debut album.
Okay.
And but then even the stuff that I've written for things that who knows what the release dates will be.
Yeah.
I may or may not pull it out. It depends on the time frame.
Yeah.
If I need an extra song and we've burned through the rock opera.
Sure.
And I'm a singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
So I love the process,
Mhm.
and I love showing people that journey.
Yeah.
And so even to share, hey, here's a song in its really raw form, but it'll be fun to hear how it's finished.
Yeah.
And even okay, so this, I just played Addiction. That is written on guitar. The way pretty much I played it, I may play it a little bit more aggressively as a solo artist.
Yeah.
But for a band and in studio work, it's played, so it's neat to see, okay, here's how a solo version or a pre-written or pre-recorded version, and then you get to hear, what we do in the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that, how all that works.
Yeah. Fantastic. So we'll have time for one more studio track. But before we do that, where should people go? What should they know about where to find you online? How to keep up with everything that you're doing?
First and foremost, Facebook.
Okay.
It's my age group, so please find me at Nancy Manet. You'll see, and send me a direct message that you heard us on the show.
Yeah.
And you can also find me. I'm newer to Instagram, but you can find me there. I personally respond to everyone.
Yeah.
And so I really love connecting with people. Relationships with one another is, I think, what makes it work.
Mm-hmm.
Positive ones.
Yeah.
And so there, and then also my website, Jen just mentioned, NancyManet, MANET.com.
Very good. And how many dates do you have left on this tour?
We go home the 31st.
Okay. Oh, okay. So you got some left, yeah. So you're in. Where do you go after Worcester? What's your next one?
No, we
You want me to tell you?
Connecticut.
Oh, that's right. I think
after Worcester, you go to New London, Connecticut.
There we are.
For a radio interview.
Oh, very good.
With WCNI.
Very good.
I think it's I.
Yeah, and then we end up in Roanoke.
Virginia on the 30th, Atlanta, Georgia on July 12th.
Oh, yes.
July 13th, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah, we'll
be
at
that one's a radio.
Blue Play special.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. Good for you. Well, we will. What do you want to play to end the?
Let's play something that we haven't played on the air. It's called Fractured.
Okay.
And it's really the conclusion of, when we were talking about, okay, you've done this project, and then now we move on to new music and we're writing new things about other topics and such.
Yeah.
But this actually concludes that, I would say, that era of trauma, and it kind of launches off in hope.
Okay. Oh well, excellent.
Into the next book of life.
Well, that's a great way to end it. Very good, Nancy Manet. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for being here with us. And Jenny, thank you. You want to plug your website?
You're welcome. You can keep up with my information at JennCoffey.com, JennCoffey.com. There's some new stuff up there and an upcoming webinar.
Yes. Jenny's got a lot going on. And of course, my website, mattconnarton.com. And we will, and thank you to everyone who joined us this week on the show. And Nancy, thank you again. And we will end with this. This is Nancy Manet. This is called Fractured.
Fractured as we navigate this life. Our hurts, our pain, the brokenness is met with so much strife. As we ponder who we become, we sit and draw our breath. We realize this fracturing is for something greater yet. To shatter into pieces is part of the journey. You'll see the beauty that's created from the ashes of our soul, are what the lessons teach that'll make us whole. So don't be afraid of crying. Your body needs to shed the pain and hurt you carry when you collapse upon your bed. Letting go is always hard, but if we choose love and light will come our way. It will always bring us peace. To shatter into pieces is part of the journey. But if we learn, it will create a kaleidoscope. You'll see the beauty that's created from the ashes of our soul, are what the lessons teach that'll make us whole, are what the lessons teach that'll make us whole.
And he said that there's going to be a big war over there in, what is it? Vietnam. And he said that the Marines are going to be the first ones in and ain't going to last too long.
That's right. So if we don't